What's up, wrestling fans? We're here with none other than GrimsToyShow. Or as I called him the other day, Grim's Toy Blow.
Fuck you.
Your fans can't, Twitter was crazy, for 2 days at least. Because
because I tweeted you once.
Yeah, you tweeted one thing, and people, they bought in for real. They were and most of them were 12 and 14.
Yep, they'll fuck you up, man.
They're crazy though. They were you're a loser, fag, Joe, kill yourself. Grim's gonna kill you. And every time I went to their thing, it was all Grim, so I knew it. They had the GTS logo.
Yeah, don't mess with the DF Army.
I've also been attacked because of my JCS logo. I don't know if you've seen my JCS logo, but I've had it for 4 years, and people are like, "Oh, you ripped off Grim," and I'm like, "No, I've had this for 4 years." And I said, "No,
I think the same person made both our logos.
There it is. Was it Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac the Radical.
Oh, yeah. So he did both of our things.
There you go.
That son of a bitch.
That's why we have the same logo.
Well, he's a son of a bitch, though. What is he doing, giving away because he did mine first? So then he just gave you. He didn't think Joe's logo is gonna look a lot like this. What?
Yeah, well, you, I don't know. Maybe just didn't cross his mind that you were smaller, I was smaller. Our worlds would never collide. I don't know.
Oh my God, he knew that though. He knew that we were gonna collide. Here it is, right here.
Yeah,
that was the original one that he did way back when. That's so
mine
funny.
Pretty much looks identical.
Yeah. So all the time people get on my thing and they're like, "You're a loser. Nice job copying Grim." And I'm like, because what I was doing was JCS wrestling in 2K 3-4 years ago. So I would put that up. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Actually, mine's more my logo for my show. Yours looks more like it's the wrestling logo for you. It's a different enough. It's just the people that think I stole it. But I'm like, I didn't steal it. Clear it up. We were down in Florida. Did JD ever try to blow you?
JD?
Yeah.
Nah, I'd kill him.
You put him through a table. It was pretty funny on that. The video with the clowns with him.
I put him through a table twice now, right? Or was it once?
It was. I think it might have been twice. I don't know.
Okay.
But now
I know I super kicked him in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put him through a table one. I think it was just the one time. We ran him over. That's what we did.
Now I'm I went to school for video and stuff like that, and I do a lot of videos and camera work and editing and stuff like that. And you had me hold the camera hey, you're gonna be able to hold this, right? Can you do this? And I'm like, oh yeah.
How fucking hard was that? You blew it big time.
I completely do. I think we found out that I can't commentate and video at the same time. My eyes left the camera so many times and it looked like shit, and I felt like an idiot. You can do this. And I'm like, yeah. And I still thought when it was over, I was like, oh, I got that. I did a good job. And because dude, I hate when people don't do. When you give the camera to someone and they miss it, it drives me nuts. I'm the same way as you. So I'm like, you're always like, hey, make sure you get this. You have to get this. And so for me to screw it up, it's ridiculous because I know exactly what that's like. So,
yeah, and that's what happens. I think 9 times out of 10, people are holding the camera and then they start looking this way and that way. They're not moving the camera.
Yeah.
It's no, you have to look through the lens. That's it.
I was so disappointed in myself too, because it could have been your video could have read thanks Joe Cronin for being a good cameraman and doing the commentary, but instead it's Joe sucks. But I deserve that. It was so bad.
I couldn't wait to watch it back, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
What an
and
asshole.
Then I'm literally all over the internet. I'm like, "Does anybody have any better footage of this?"
We did get some, I think. If you looked, I forget who got it. Somebody else.
Yeah, it was long after I posted my video, though.
It might have been Tommy NC that got it.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, he was creepy the whole night. I just made a video making fun of the whole show, and he was creeping towards the stage. He was real close to just molesting you. It was really weird.
Poor Tommy.
Well, poor Tommy, but he was making posts. He's I don't know if you're aware of this. He's angry at you sometimes. He's really weird. And he says that you're he started being oh, he's afraid of autistic people and stuff.
No, you know what it is he's challenging me to a match, and he's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna come down to where I live, which is in the Carolinas, I believe.
Right.
He's like, and you can stay here for 3 days, and we're gonna do this whole angle and this whole storyline where I win the championship, and then you'll try to win it back, but then I'm gonna beat you again, and then I'll have it for 6 months, and then you can come back again and get it. And I'm like, okay, first of all, no. Second of all, I was like, you are not a wrestler. You're not a trained wrestler. and you talk about your disabilities all the time. If I beat up a person with a disability, nobody's gonna like me.
I don't think he understands that you're a face. You know,
Yeah.
what you could do is you could save him from another wrestler who's about to put him through a table or hurt him,
That we
and
can do.
then you could wrestle that guy, and he could be like your manager at that point. Yeah, see, that could
Yeah,
work.
and he could come in and hit that guy with the belt or something. That'd be great.
Yeah, that could work. So, but he'd have to come to New Jersey though, because you
Right.
can't go down there. I mean, you got kids and all these other things. He never understands that.
Right.
But anyway, so speaking of that, let's move on to. First, I want to say one thing. I like watching your videos there's a big reason why I like watching your videos. Because I'm 33 years old, and all your videos remind me of all the backyard wrestling I did when I was a kid. And when I kept doing them, I did backyard wrestling until like, being 18 or 19. I didn't go to wrestling school until I was 19. So
Right.
it just brings back that whole vibe and stuff. And it's cool to see. Like, what do guys, like, when you see guys like Robbie E. come over and guys like that, Kurt Hawkins and things like that, what do they think of what you do?
That's what's funny to me is those guys have such a respect for it, because first of all, they're not looking at it as backyard at all. They're like, I can clearly see that you're a fully trained guy. You know exactly what you're doing. And then on top of it, you know exactly what you're doing as far as you have an audience that enjoys your product and your show every day, and they want to be part of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And, obviously Hawkins can't be anymore, but, at the time he was, excited to be a part of it. And it was just, we would have done so much more had there not been the huge distance. For me to get to his school was a 3-4 hour drive every time we went there. But to me, it was worth it. I was like, hey, I get to go work with Kurt Hawkins. And
good timing, too, because then he got picked up right as you were kind of involved with him.
Right.
What do you think about what's your experience with Ryback? Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but I have some pretty interesting heat with Ryback.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I mean, I think Ryback was made aware of me through kind of the Kurt Hawkins, because Kurt Hawkins' business associate with Create a Pro and Wrestle Pro is Pat Buck.
Pat Buck hates me too, yeah.
Pat Buck is friends with Ryback, although I think something happened there.
Well, something always is going to happen with Ryback, but yeah, something happened.
Yeah, but whatever. But yeah, so, they would talk about, if something happened regarding me or whatever, they would talk about it on the podcast and stuff. And, and I did a show where Ryback was the main event. I worked on an indie show, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
I worked on an indie show. Ryback was there. I got to talk to him, and we wanted to bring him onto GTS, but at the time.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I talked to him about bringing him onto GTS. He's down with doing GTS. He respects what we do. He, likes the show and everything. It's just a matter of him being in the area and me being able to afford him, because, he still commands a high amount from a lot of indies. I just have to be able to afford his time when he's available.
Well, you know what happened with me with Ryback is I tweeted, I wanted to get him. People wanted me to get him on my show for an interview, and I kept asking him, and one of my producer people emailed him, and he basically, I made a joke because they never responded back, and then his price was too much because we offered, we'll pay him, and his price was too much. So then I started making jokes like, oh, he wants $1 million in gold. Oh, he wants $10,000. He wants chocolate bars. And then one day I was like, yeah, if you can whip out $3,000, maybe we can get Ryback. Well, Ryback heard that, and he was like, this guy wants me to have $3,000. And and he freaked out and thought that that's what we wanted from him. And that it all started right there. And I'm like, no, I was like, I just want to promote your book and all your stuff that you do. He seems like a good guy. He just seems like he takes things really seriously. And he sometimes sees things the wrong way. Like he almost killed me at WrestleCon in Florida, and I went up to him to apologize to him because we had a guy call the show acting like him, but it was just random that somebody called and he said I was doing it and making fun of him and all these things, and I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, like I'm just trying. He's like, you should be positive on your platform and everything. But then on his podcast the next day, he said I should die in a pit of spikes. So I mean, I don't really know what to make of him.
I've run into that too with, I do a lot of jokes, especially when I would do more of the figure stuff.
Yeah.
Not so much now that we're doing kind of like our own show. I mean, obviously we do parodies, but like more when I did the figure stuff and the figure jokes and whatever.
Yeah.
And, some of these guys would really take offense to the things I would say. and other guys would realize, oh, hey, he's just trying to be entertaining and, get a view on YouTube. You know what I mean? And they would just laugh.
Yeah. It's weird how they that happens, and Ryback doesn't realize. Like, he was like, you know nothing about this business, all these things. And it's like, well, I mean, I did, I trained for a while, and I wrestled for a couple of years, and I stopped. I did some referee stuff, and then I became an alcoholic for years. And then I became a commentator. Now I do ring announcing. I still get in the ring once in a while. So it's like, I have an idea, and I have a lot of respect for him and, like, the injuries he went through and everything he did, and I think he got a raw deal in WWE anyway. But, we'll see what happens. But moving on from that, speaking of people that don't like maybe you or what we do here, and you can see how there'd be this certain protection, people seeing us as outsiders. It's more you in a way, because I'm not doing so much wrestling in the ring anymore. I'm doing just more of a show on YouTube talking about wrestling. But you're actually getting in the ring, and you're maybe like getting someone's spot or something, or people are seeing you that way, or, oh, he used YouTube to get into the business, and then you were recently attacked at a show for real, which, dude, I was, like, enraged by that video, by the way, because that was dangerous. What they did, it looked like the second guy changed his mind. Like, he came in on your buddy, and he hit him, but then he realized he was going to knock him off the top of the rope, and he kind of grabbed him and brought him back in. But the guy that aimed at you, that was like a knockout punch that, like, kills some people.
Right.
So, like, I mean, whatever came of that?
And nothing. I mean, that happened, and it's still kind of like a scuttlebutt here and there, and, those guys are still kind of doing their thing, and I don't talk about them, and I don't promote them, and, every once in a while somebody asks me, was that real? And I say, yeah. I said, because if it was a story or part of the show, I said, I'd have had a tag match with them.
Right. Well,
had they wanted to be on my show or make a angle out of it, I would have said, hey, sure, that's a good angle. You guys are mad that I'm coming on your show to take your spot. Let's do a story. That could have been cool. But to fucking attack somebody from behind, like, the fact that anybody still books those guys is amazing to me, because who wants to be associated with that kind of trash?
I think a lot of people don't even realize it, and they don't care. It was such a small thing, like, like a lot of promoters, they don't even realize, they don't even know. They just know that these guys work.
You're right. A lot of them probably don't even know. And that just, I've seen that where, certain guys I know will kind of sneak their way onto a show, and they're not even trained or something. I've seen that in, shows sometimes, and I'm like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. How is he even on this show doing what he's doing? Well, and it's kind of scary to me.
I see some of those, like, rural area wrestling promotions, you know what I mean? And that happens a lot there, where they get in. And I've even had people ask to book me somewhere one time, and I said, they don't even know if I know how to wrestle. They don't know that I know. You know what I mean? And I haven't in a while, but yeah, they don't even know. They don't know. They just wanted hey, come in and do this and that.
Right. But, and I think the thing that happens with me is, say there's one hater, and he goes around and says, oh, Grim is this and Grim is that. Yeah. And then other people just believe it because they don't research. They don't look to find out for themselves.
Yeah. Or they look you up real quick.
One guy to say he's some fat, untrained backyarder who does YouTube, and then that's what the next guy thinks, and then he spreads it to the next guy, and then
well, hey, and I mean,
dirty looks.
How in shape are you too? I mean, like, real quick, I mean, like, are you? Because I mean, I blow up right now, right? So you're in the ring. You're probably not in the best shape ever either, right? I mean, when you are in there,
and I've never come out there and said, oh yeah, I'm some high class athlete or anything. Right. I'm definitely overweight. You know what I mean? But I'm in good enough shape, and there's plenty of fat guys that wrestle on the independent scene. You know what I mean?
But that probably adds to it. If someone was in the locker room saying, like, this guy's gonna hurt somebody, he's making all these, building this whole story, and then you go out there and you start wrestling, they might look at you and be like, oh my, like, what is this guy gonna do? Yeah, this guy's gonna hurt some, whatever. He's here because of YouTube. But yeah, for what those guys did, dude, I can't even tell you, man. I was going off. I was like emailing promoters I knew. I was like sending videos. I was like, this guy got attacked, and like, this is because what I'm telling you, that guy that went after you, that was a messed up shot. Now, something controversial from this whole thing. I don't know if you'd like me bringing it up, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. What do you think? I don't know if you heard the comments from Scampoli. Did you hear what he said about you in that video?
No, because who the hell is who?
You know who Kevin Scampoli is from the whole effing show?
Never heard of him.
Really? Well, he was he was sort of calling you like a crybaby and stuff, and that it wasn't that big a deal. Because you were like, at the end of it, Well, first of all, the other reason why it's not a work is because you were swearing in front of kids. Like you were upset, so you were like yelling,
which I don't do.
Which anybody would have done, because you would have been like, you just tried to kill me, fuckhead, and so it's on. So
it's funny because that's like the number one thing whenever I get with any promoter, a new promoter, anything. It's hey, I know you use heavy language on your show. You're not going to do that at my show, right? I said, no, absolutely. You're not going to curse on your show, whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna behave ourselves.
And you knew, because you got there and you realized, like, I think like 50% of the crowd, if not more, were kids or teenagers.
And honest to God, like that, I regret. Like I didn't be like, okay, that's it. Now I'm gonna curse.
Yeah. No, you're out of your mind at that point.
No, dude, I was rocked. Like, I was fucking seeing stars, and all I knew was, these guys are attacking me, and all I knew was to either fight back, spit in their face, or curse at them, because that's how you react when you're, attacked.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I fully regret cursing in front of all those people, those kids like that.
I mean, because like when that happens, it's a shock. I don't think people realize it. Like, it's a real shock, especially to someone like you or like somebody else. Like, even if I was in this situation, like a wrestler who's like wrestles like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, even more, they might see that coming and they might start fighting the guy right off the bat. But someone like you, where you wrestle less, this stuff happens way less, I would think. You're not ready for this. So you really...
My thought was, like, when that happened was, it was a setup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
I felt set up, and that, had it escalated any farther, that who knows, it was just those two. Maybe there's 10 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the whole locker room.
Were you worried when you went back in the locker room?
Not so much, because I seen them run the other way. Like, they kind of bailed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I went straight at the promoter.
Yeah.
And started screaming in his face, and then that's when other guys started pulling me off, because I wasn't attacking them. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But I started screaming in the promoter's face, like, "Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to shoot on me?" Like, I was blaming him, like it was a setup.
Yeah.
And everybody was pulling me off, saying, nobody knew anything about this. Those guys acted on their own, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like getting my shit, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fuck you all.
Yeah. Well, I think the Scampoli in his video of you, if you should go look it up. I mean, if you want, it's kind of, he's ranking on you there.
I could honestly care less. But.
Yeah. But it's like, he just went in like, because at the end you were like, nobody go to this promoter's show. But you know what it was is, like, there's a couple different ways to act. There's like, you can be violent, but I mean, you were trying to sort of be like, you were just all over the place at the time. So I mean, like, I think you did the right thing. You were just screaming about, this F this guy, F this promotion.
Right.
But that was so weird. That's never happened to me. I've had some weird stuff happen to me, but that was like old school, like high school stuff, where like someone says, "Hey, Jake wants to talk to you." You go around the corner to the water bubbler, and there's like 6 people, and they circle you, and the next thing you know, they start beating you up. It's like, what the hell is this, dude? Just fucking really cowardly and stupid of those guys, and it's too bad that they're still being booked, because someone needs to punch them in the scrotum.
I'm a firm believer that what goes around comes around.
Probably, and with that mentality that they decided to hurt a YouTuber like who brought half the audience. I mean, and
the funniest thing, someone said, I believe it was the owner of CZW, and he said something about, you think when Snooki was booked on WrestleMania, who in the back thought to run out there and punch her in the back of the head?
Right. There was probably people mad, though, right? Don't you think there was people in the locker room like, F Snooki, what the hell is she doing here?
Right, I'm sure. I'm sure. But see, here's the difference. Snooki was not a wrestler at all. Never wrestled before in her life.
Yeah.
She was there as the entertainment spot. She got a match on a WrestleMania, whatever. I'm an actual trained wrestler that does wrestling shows and independent shows and my own wrestling show. It's not like I'm some... untrained entertainer out there trying to hurt other people. I was only with my own guys.
Well, it's funny because it's almost like you're working the wrestlers that think that way, because like you do the YouTube show, but you're also really a wrestler, and they're sitting there thinking like treating you like an actual heel because you're coming into their business, but really you are a trained wrestler. But they're getting all worked up because they see you as this outside YouTuber. Right. So it's just kind of funny that they don't understand that.
I honestly think it's more of, like you said, taking somebody's spot on the show. An indie show has 6 matches or 8 matches or whatever, and we were one of them.
And they weren't there. Those guys weren't booked on that show.
Right. So therefore, it's my friends didn't get on because these guys are here.
It would have been great. It would have been great if you just grabbed the mic and said, "Yeah, you're upset about that. Well, are you upset? You're just upset because you're not on the show. And you know why you're not on the show? Because you didn't pack this place like I did. You think you should be mad because you weren't on the show, but you really should be mad because half this crowd didn't come pay to see you, and that's your problem.
And it had my wits about me.
Yeah,
that's what I would have done.
It would have been great. They probably would have started to fight you then. I wish I was there. I wish I was in that crowd. It would have been ugly. I would have jumped in the ring. It would have been great. I would have beat the crap out of him.
The thing is nobody knew what the fuck was going on. People thought it was part of the show.
Well, that's the thing.
You would have thought it was part of the show. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what though? I said that. I said, I don't know. I would be worried that it was a real thing. But that shot, man, that shot that you got, it was so like when I saw the video, I was like, holy shit! Like I would have known immediately that wasn't right, especially the way you reacted. But yeah, I can see how a lot of people would think that that's part of the show, and yeah,
even the other guy, Rojo in the match,
he worked the power bomb.
And then the other guy, it was actually a triple threat. El Jefe Rojo,
right?
He was in the match with me too. He had no fucking clue what was going on. They didn't attack him.
Didn't they stomp
him?
Laying
off to the side. He didn't see me get hit like that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, the guy came over and the guy literally the guy that hit me gave him the softest little stomp ever.
Yeah. So it was worked. That was worked.
And he was like, I didn't think anything of it. The guy barely touched me with a stomp. I'm like, what are these retards doing? That's all he thought.
That was the only one that set me off, was the punch to you, and because it looked like, again, the other guy held up like, oh shit, like maybe I shouldn't have done that, and then he gave him
and he said he didn't get hurt at all. The guy that took the power bomb, he gave him a perfect power bomb.
Yeah, just kind of like a rough worked power bomb. Like it was almost like he changed his mind and then wanted to be able to say that it was a work, Right. But the other guy was the one that pissed me off. It seemed malicious.
Right. The one fucking me.
Hey, with all the stuff you've been to, you go to a lot of WWE shows, you go to all these things. Is there like a guy in WWE that you're just like, man, I wish I never met that guy, or or somebody at the signings you go to when you do your vlogs there, where it's like, this guy kind of stinks?
Not really. I think everybody's pretty chill. I don't really have any issues with anybody out there. All the fans are really cool. People come up to me. I wish I had more time to spend with everybody.
Yeah.
My biggest problem of getting I come into these wrestling shows and I probably have people come up to me as much as they would come up to Baron Corbin or something.
Yep.
And I pull up to an arena after driving there for 2 hours. I got to take a leak. I'm about to explode and I can't move. Hey Grim, and I want to meet everybody and I want to have fun and talk to everybody, but I gotta take a piss.
Yeah, and you missed the show. I mean, dude, I know that you're dealing with that because I mean, when I go to wrestling shows, sometimes I get stopped probably 15 times during the whole event, and I'm like, oh my god. So like with you,
it's really cool, and it's fun.
It is awesome. Like it's really. It surprises me every time. But I mean, with you, I mean, you must just every second you're getting mobbed by somebody. But with WWE and stuff, who do you like? Well, you don't have any problems with anybody, but who sees you that like knows you like around WWE or whatever that says like, oh, that's the Grim guy. I like that guy. Is there somebody that does that?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, there's a camera guy. I know that there's a camera guy, and I filmed him one time. I just showed him on a little clip of one of my videos.
Yeah.
And I know I said a joke, and it was with Michael Green, Pickle Boy.
Oh, yeah.
The kid behind the camera. And we had made a joke, and I guess he had heard me. And it wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
But I know that camera guy sees me and is like, that guy's here again.
That's awesome.
But it's not like I have a problem with him or fight with him or anything.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just start going after the refs and the cameramen who don't get enough attention, and then you'll get... Maybe they'll get in that way.
He was just sitting there, and he was like holding his coffee, and he just was like, looked like he hated his life,
Was it the tall guy? The tall one? He's a really tall guy. He's been there forever. I can't remember his name, but been a cameraman forever there. I see him at every event. I'm like, man, this guy's been here forever.
Yeah.
So, what are your memories of WrestleCon, man? We were down in Florida in Orlando there. And we had a pretty good time there. I had a lot of fun. It was cool to meet you, and we're all vlogging each other everywhere. What do you think about what we did down there? Was that cool, or it flashed before me? I don't even remember what happened. Barely.
Yeah. It was. I don't know. For me, it was something new and something interesting. I thought it was really fun. being a part of the little panel and everything.
Yeah.
I think for me, aside from everybody else that was in that panel, like, you guys are more like, we're serious and we're going to talk about wrestling and who we think is going to win.
Go back and listen to what I said, because I was like a jack off. I don't know if you listened to me.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, like I was more trying to be like goofy and funny, and I'm like, these people aren't laughing. Why aren't these people laughing?
Yeah,
I got to be funny.
Remember at the beginning, it was really quiet and it got weird a little bit, to be honest. Like, it was like a little strange. That's why I dove off the stage.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is getting weird. Like, so when Steven Larson were like, Bret Hart like was overrated, I was like, well, I'm just gonna do something. And I had nothing else to do, and I was last on the panel. I felt like I kept getting like, people would all answer stuff, and then it would get to me, and I'd be like, and then JD was before me, and we think alike. So he would go into these rants about Roman Reigns or something else.
He'd say everything you were just about to say.
And I'd just be like, and if you go back and watch the whole thing, it's hilarious. Because it comes to me and I'm like, yeah, I think all of Roman Reigns' wins don't count because he's got a vest on. Like, I just said stupid stuff. Like, I didn't even care. Like, it was weird. But Steven Larson were perfect. They were like in the middle, so they were answering everything like 100% seriously.
And they're like analytical. Like, my brain doesn't work the way theirs does.
Yeah.
Like the way they think about wrestling, like so analytically, and they come up with the thought process of why things are.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. But my brain doesn't work like that. I'm like, no, that guy's cool. He should kill people.
Yeah, you're like, I think you're like the more positive side of the ranter. I don't know, but it was cool. That's why it was cool, because like everybody was different, so it worked out. But yeah, it was fun.
Like I would get uncomfortable because I'd feel like I have, I knew the people that were there that wanted to see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think it wasn't a majority or anything. I think the majority was more there to hear analytical wrestling talk. But the people that were on it to see me are sitting there like this, and they're waiting for me to do something.
Yeah, right. And
that's why, like, I took my water bottle and dumped it on Brian's head.
Which I don't even know. He was like, Brian was getting really. Could you tell? Like, he was so like, because he ran the whole thing, but he was just so stressed, man. He was like, "Oh, don't do that, Grim. Grim, what are you doing?" Mm-hmm. He's so serious. It was just so funny.
No, and I don't blame him. I mean, here he is trying to run a professional internet darling panel show, and I'm dumping water on his head.
Well, it was good though. You packed. I mean, how a lot of the fans are yours, so it was cool. I was the smallest guy there. But no, we were there because Kevin Scampoli apparently wasn't there because he had controversy.
Oh, that's who that is?
Yeah, that guy. But
oh, okay, yeah, then I know him.
But you say you were worried about all this stuff, and you were nervous. I was nervous because Adam Blampier kept passing me these notes, wanting to see me take my shirt off. It was weird. The whole entire show, I was like, "What is this?" Like, and he was like, "Go ahead, Cronin." Like, it was weird. When I dove off the stage, in the background, you can hear Adam. Adam goes, "Wow, that guy can work." Like, it was just really funny.
Now, see, he invited me up to his room. Now I'm starting to think things.
Yeah, everything is connecting for me. At WrestleCon, he was like, "Want to come outside for a minute and feel my legs?" No, I mean, what do you think about that whole thing? You feel bad for that guy, or like, I mean, like the what culture they got fired? I mean, we met him.
Did they get fired or did they leave?
Well, okay, no, they got.
I don't know the real story.
Apparently, I think they got fired from what culture?
Okay,
but then they started the Cultaholic thing, which got delayed now because of the stuff that came out about him. And he's Adam's supposed to be like a feminist sort of thing. Like, he's sort of like a feminizer, like a guy who sticks up for women type of thing. Okay. And he's got heat with Scampoli, and they both don't like each other. That's why Scampoli didn't come, because of what they said. Well, I'm not coming if he's there, because of things that Kevin has said about women. And so then for him to do that, it's just kind of like bizarre, and this to come out. But Adam didn't really, I mean, he didn't do any. I mean, someone sent him stuff that he requested. You know what I mean? And people are calling him like a predator and everything like that. I mean, we both have kids and daughters and stuff, but on the scale of other things that you're seeing go around in the media right now, I mean, what he did, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know what to say about it. Like, is it terrible? Is it not good? I mean,
I don't really know much about it to comment.
Yeah, I don't think I know enough either. But
like, I mean, as far as I know, he's not married and doesn't have any kids, right?
Yeah, the only person to me, like the worst thing that was probably his girlfriend. I mean, it was the only thing that was like, well, that's.
So he was like cheating on his girlfriend.
Yeah. If whatever online is cheating, then that's what it was. But yeah,
so he's a little scummy. He cheats on his girlfriend.
Yeah, a lot of guys out there like that. So I just don't. I don't know. I didn't get the whole thing.
I know tons of people like that.
Yeah, he seemed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, was there any like rape accusations? Like, I don't really know.
No,
really
and it's none of that. Yeah, it's just like literally like basically what they said is he kind of pressured them to send him photos because of his status. Like, well, I'm the guy from What Culture. You should really send this to me.
And they were all legal age.
And they were all legal age. Yeah. So. I don't know. But they call him, like, in the text they say predator, and he did this whole apology saying, I shouldn't have done this, and I was, using my status to sort of get women to do this who were weak-minded or were drinking or things like that. And it's just like, man, I mean, there's some terrible shit out there for this to be so bad. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, but we both met him, and I mean, he was like one of my favorite people that I met.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, they were all really cool.
I've always been cool with him and him and the other Adam Pacitti and King Ross.
Yeah,
like those guys were always cool. I don't know. I feel bad if they got fired. I thought they quit. I thought they left to go do their own thing.
It may have been mutual. They may have decided to get out of there. And then Justin LaBar got his show put on there for a day.
Yeah, and then they fired him. I seen that.
They were like, "You're done." But I think he kind of had a point too that like they didn't really give him enough time. But
right.
Anyway. Anything you want to say to everybody coming up that you're doing and what's going on your channel? Because you've got 3 channels. It's sort of confusing. You have like way more subs than people realize.
Well, you know what it is with my channels. My brain goes a million miles a minute.
Yep.
And I like to do so many different things. Like some people are like, okay, I'm going to be on YouTube and I'm just going to talk about Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views. And it's like, I can't just do that. I have so many interests, and I'm such a creative person that I want to do 100 million different things.
Yep.
And that's why I have so many channels and whatever. And I feel like, had I just focused everything, I'd probably have 2 million subs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I don't know. But you got a lot because, like, what I see you doing on the channel that I was always sub to was always consistent to me. Like, I'm always like, all right, I know what I'm going to get from Grim. But then I realized you had these other channels, and I didn't know that. So, no, I think you're doing the right thing. I think I'm the same way, too. I'm just focused on one thing now because I'm afraid to branch off too much. But, I do the whole mostly podcasting thing. But, no, I'm going to get down there one day.
We got, I don't know when you're going to air this, but on November 18th, we have a big Buried Alive Solid Steel Series event. It's our parody of Survivor Series, obviously.
Right.
It's going to be the final encounter between me and Vlad, who's our Brock Lesnar type parody character.
Yeah.
And if I don't beat him, that's it. I get buried.
They're gonna bury you alive. They're gonna bury you alive in there.
We're really gonna have a ditch, and there's gonna be a burial.
That's awesome.
And one of us is gonna get buried, and that's the big event coming up. But we got daily episodes. I mean, like I said, I don't know when you're gonna air this, but today's episode was just off the hook. It was, we destroyed our entrance stage. I speared the guy through it. Smashed a whole, 70-pound tub of action figures over his head. And then we had a hair versus hair match, and I lost.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. The spoiler. I want to go see you get your head shaved.
So, yeah, you might want to go watch me get my head shaved because
I'm going to go get your head shaved.
It's pretty funny. They hold me down. I'm screaming. I'm kicking. And they're shaving my head. So,
tell you what, if I come out there, I'll put my hair on the line against you.
Okay.
I don't have much either, but I'll put it on the line. What do I got here?
Let's see.
Here it is.
Yeah, I'm putting you through a table.
I've got. I'll put it on the line. I got a big bald spot right here, but I'll put it on the line. Well, Grim's gonna get out of here. You went even longer than I told him he would. So thank you, man, for stopping by. We make some jokes online, and sure, I made a joke. I don't know did you see my video where I just ranked on the whole show?
Mm-hmm.
You did see that?
Yeah, we bust each other's balls, but it's all good. It's all in fun.
Oh, yeah, but I just, some people don't know. Some people are like, why you hate Grim? I'm like, I love Grim. He's great. We do the same stuff.
And then there's people, why you hate on JD and Joe? And I'm like, I'm just busting their balls. I mean,
I'll
go at it with you guys. I'm like, if you fucking hate Raw and SmackDown so much, stop watching it, jackass.
Yeah, that's like the number one thing I usually get. But I'm like, nah, dude, this is my job. I don't care. If it sucks, I got to do it anyway.
Right. And the thing is, like, when I would do my Raw or whatever, my pay-per-view review, I'll tell you if I think something sucks, and I'll tell you if I think something was great. And I try to be 1,000% honest. And the thing is I love wrestling. So therefore, 90% of the time, I enjoy what I'm watching.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's the thing that's weird. Like that's why we come at it differently. Like it's weird because like I do love wrestling, but at the same time, like my head just spins. You know, with some of the stuff they do. I think that recently even like JD's very negative, like very critical. Like and recently I'm pretty critical too. But I mean I try to see like this week's SmackDown and Raw. I thought SmackDown was better than Raw, but I thought the Braun Strowman thing at the end was dumb. Like, but I wanted that.
I thought it was great.
See, I wanted that to happen though. I wanted Braun to show up coming out of the dumpster, like the dump truck. Like they pretty much kind of did what I wanted. And I mean that thing of him rising up was hilarious. I mean that is funny. Right. But I just thought it was.
That's the point.
I thought it was too produced though. Like I liked when it was more realistic. Like I would have rather had Braun like because he's such a Neanderthal. Like I would have rather seen him abduct a garbage truck driver, and been like, and say those.
The thing is, even like we produce content. You know what I mean? So think about yourself. Like you're trying to produce that content, and you're trying to think. When you say, okay, I want this scene to happen, and then you look at it and you go, well, there's 90 different ways I can do it. What is the person that's watching this going to like the most?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then what I usually do is I say, well, I try to think my comment section. Well, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, And I'm like, well, what do I think is going to be the funniest? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've always said, I make my show to make me and my friends laugh.
Yeah.
Or to make me and my friends enjoy it. Like I'm excited to show my friends, hey, look what we did. Look what we did.
Yeah.
And then I say, if my friends all like it, I think the fans will too.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, dude, that's what works. That's what I do the same thing. Most of the stuff, sometimes people don't like it, and they're like, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, "Because I liked it, and if you didn't like it, then I don't know."
Right. But I think just sometimes WWE has so much creative people going on that one guy, oh no, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, let's do it that way, and they're producing content so fast and so much that it's. Well, we got to get this done, and we got to get it done right now. This is how we're doing it, and it doesn't always come off the way that it should.
Yeah, it just doesn't look right to me. I mean, I don't know how you feel about WWE in 2007, but I don't think it's that good right now. And I got to tell you, Grim, the numbers don't lie, man. I don't think I feel like the house shows. I mean, we're seeing the photos. There's just so many people that aren't there. I've been to like 6 SmackDowns this year. The hard cam side is like empty almost every time. The numbers are down. The viewership is down.
Well, you go to SmackDown, like when I'm going to go to a show, like let's say I'm going to take my daughters to see Disney on Ice, for example.
Yeah.
That's a show. And why do they want to go there? They want to see Elsa, and they want to see Frozen and Olaf, and that's what they get. They go to Disney on Ice, they see Elsa, and they do the big song and the musical number and the fireworks and the snow.
We went to that too, by the way. It was great.
Well, there you go. Right.
It was awesome.
So when you go now, if you had a little boy and you want to take him to SmackDown to see John Cena, you expect to go to this show and see the fireworks and John Cena and him put the big bad guy through a table, and you know what I mean? Like you expect all those fireworks. And then you take your kid to a SmackDown, and there's no John Cena, and the main event is like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a tag match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What the hell is that?
It just like because it's like this is just a filler episode of SmackDown, but you have 15,000 people in the arena who this is their one WWE show a year that they go to, and they want to see John Cena come out with fireworks and explosions, and they expect WrestleMania.
Yeah, and it doesn't end up close. It almost feels like a house show a lot of times on SmackDown the storylines.
The house shows are better.
That's true. The house shows are a lot of times better. They were. I had more fun at the house show I took my son to, and I said for the first time the bowl was empty up and around, and that's in Boston. It was very shocking. Grim, say one last thing to everybody if you want, and we'll get him out of here.
All right. Guys, if you could check out GTS Wrestling on our Silly Super Pop channel on YouTube, we have some of the most fun wrestling action. It's comedy, it's parody, it's crazy, it's hardcore. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe, watch every day. You're not going to regret it.
And I'm going to show up to kick your ass one of these days there, too, so be watching.
And coming soon, Joe Cronin going through a table, courtesy of me.
Oh, all right, guys. Thanks to Grim. Check out Grim's Toy Show. All the links to his videos, channel, YouTube channels, and Twitter is below in the description.